Returning to the light, a visit to the sacred grave. The morning sun cast long shadows over the quiet cemetery, its golden light filtering through the leaves of ancient banyan trees. A soft breeze carried the faint scent of jasmine and damp earth as a group of men and women, dressed in modest white and gray clothing, made their way down the worn stone path. At their head was Ustadz Farid, a respected elder in the community, his voice steady as he recited verses from the Quran under his breath, his words blending harmoniously with the rustling leaves. The congregation followed closely, their expression somber but respectful, each person lost in their own thoughts as they approached the freshly dug grave. The atmosphere was heavy with a poignant mix of grief and reverence. Today was a day of remembrance, a day to honor those who had passed. The group reached the gravesite, and Ustadz Farid paused, turning to face his companions. His eyes, wise and kind, swept over the faces gathered around him. Today, we gather not only to mourn but to celebrate the lives that have touched ours, he began, his voice resonating with conviction. We reflect on the lessons they taught us and the love they shared. As he spoke, a few members of the community knelt before the grave, their hands clasped in prayer. The soft murmurs of Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un intermingled with the gentle sounds of nature, grounding the moment in solemnity. Ustadz Farid continued, sprinkling soil over the grave while reciting more verses, reminding everyone of the transient nature of life. We belong to Allah, and to Him we shall return, he repeated, echoing the words of faith that bound them all together. Around him, the group nodded, their hearts synchronized in their shared loss. Memories stirred within them, stories of laughter, kindness, and moments that had defined their loved ones. The morning sun blazed down upon them, illuminating the path forward, yet casting shadows of remembrance that would linger long after this day. After the prayers concluded, a few individuals stepped forward, each in turn sharing a cherished memory. The soft sound of voices filled the air, interspersed with gentle laughter, a reminder that even amidst sorrow, there was a celebration of life. One by one, they placed flowers upon the grave, each bloom a testament to their love and respect. As the last petals fell, Ustadz Farid gently reminded them, "Let us carry the legacy of those we admire in our hearts, and honor them in our deeds, today and always." With the sun climbing higher in the sky, the group slowly began to disperse, their hearts a little fuller, their spirits a little lighter. The cemetery, now filled with the sounds of life returning, felt less like a place of mourning and more like a sanctuary where love and memory intertwined, inviting them all to keep moving forward, united by the past, and hopeful for tomorrow. They had come to visit the grave of Haji Usman, a beloved teacher and father figure who had passed away 1 year ago today. His absence still weighed heavily on their hearts, but today was not just about grief, it was about remembrance, prayer, and the belief that death was not an end, but a return to the Creator. Arrival at the grave. The group stopped before a simple marble tombstone, its surface inscribed with Quranic verses. Haji Usman's name was carved neatly at the center, along with the dates of his birth and death. Flowers, white chrysanthemums and fragrant roses, had been placed there earlier by his family. Ustadz Farid raised his hands in supplication. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. He began, and the group fell into a respectful silence. One by one, they sat cross-legged on the woven prayer mats spread over the grass, their faces solemn yet serene. The recitation of Surah Yasin. A young man named Rifki, Haji Usman's former student, cleared his throat and began reciting Surah Yasin, his voice trembling slightly at first before growing stronger. The others listened, some murmuring along, their fingers moving over prayer beads. The words of the Quran filled the air, a soothing balm for their sorrow. Yasin. Wal Quran al-Hakim. As the verses flowed, memories of Haji Usman surfaced, his patience when teaching, his generosity to the poor, the way his laughter could light up a room. Tears glistened in the eyes of his widow, Ibu Fatima, but she smiled, knowing this was a reunion in spirit, not just a farewell. Talal and collective prayer. When the recitation ended, Ustad Farid led the group in Talal, the rhythmic chanting of La ilaha illallah, a reminder of the oneness of Allah. The words rose and fell like a gentle tide, unifying their voices in devotion. Then came the Doa, the heartfelt prayers for the deceased. Hands lifted, palms open toward the sky, they asked for mercy, forgiveness, and elevation for Haji Usman's soul. Allahumma ifir lahu, waramhu, wafihi, wafu, anhu. A moment of reflection. After the prayers, the group sat in quiet reflection. Some shared stories, how Haji Usman had helped build the local mosque, how he never missed far prayer even in his old age. Others simply sat in gratitude, feeling the peace that comes from remembering the dead with love and faith. As they prepared to leave, Ustad Farid reminded them, death is not the end. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, we belong to Allah, and to Him we shall return. With that, they stood, brushing grass from their clothes, their hearts lighter. The visit had been more than ritual, it had been a renewal of faith, a bridge between this world and the next. Every step we take from this hallowed ground reminds us of the fragility of life, he continued, his voice steady but gentle. It is easy to get lost in the distractions of this world, but moments like these ground us, reminding us of our ultimate purpose. A young man named Amir, who had been quiet throughout their visit, finally spoke up. I often feel overwhelmed by everything, the rush of life, the responsibilities, the uncertainty. How do we hold on to this perspective? Ustad Farid smiled warmly, gesturing for them to sit on a nearby bench under a sprawling banyan tree. It's a journey, Amir. We must consciously cultivate our hearts and minds, filling them with reminders of our purpose. Daily prayers, reflection on the Quran, and gatherings like this help anchor us. They remind us that we are part of something greater. And as they walked away, the wind carried the faintest whisper, like a sigh of contentment, as if Haji Usman himself had acknowledged their prayers. Cultural and religious authenticity, accurate depiction of Islamic grave visiting traditions, Ziara Kubur, Talal, Surah Yasin. Emotional depth, balances grief with spiritual hope. Sensory details, the scent of flowers, the sound of recitation, the touch of prayer beads.